I rejoined Netflix yesterday. The price went up two whole dollars for the month in the 21st, 28th, 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th. 6 weeks that I was away from it, that I wasn't subscribed. I'd been planning to spend $23 to bring it back for the sake of being able to watch the final episodes of Cobra Kai, and deciding to throw in Squid Game, the new season, after I rewatch the first one while I wait for Cobra Kai. A pace of about one episode per day. Two if I decide, hey, I know I've got some other stuff going on, so I'm going to plan it ahead. And then I decide, you know what, since I'm spending $25, I am going to exploit the fuck out of this subscription. Because for that money, I could have rented four recent release movies that were about $6 each and had a dollar left over. I could have used that money to buy a season of a show or a limited series that I wanted to watch and then do that. I could have bought some groceries. I probably could have bought a smaller video game. But no, I really want to watch the final episodes of Cobra Kai, and I don't want to pay more for Netflix than I have to, which leads me into the topic of today's video: things I've wasted money on, or money sinks that have. Let's go with things I've wasted money on. So, I guess the first culprit would have to be streaming services, like having multiple of them or having lots of them, or all the different studio specific ones. You've got your Disney Plus, your Paramount Plus, you've got Max for Warner Brothers. It was all pointless, especially as, I mean, when I was running my movie and TV review operation, it kind of made sense. But ever since I backed away from that, I was less able to rationalize it, to the point that I eventually brought it down to just Amazon and Apple. Amazon because it's a consequence of Amazon Prime, though I still do have to pay $3 a month for removing the ads because I hate advertisements. I will literally pay whatever it takes to not deal with advertisements. It's also one of the reasons I'm going to the theater even less now. They play those ads in front of the movie. That's before the preview. So I'm talking about in the half hour or so before the official showtime start, which is really when the previews start. They're playing the ads. I mean, I don't hold it against the theater personally. I get it. Corporate wants them to make as much money as possible off their thing. I mean, you could argue that it's a waste of the projector bulb. I mean, that's what I'd tell them if I ever got a chance to say it to someone who had the power to change that. But even if I did, they'd be like, yeah, but the money we bring in is more than enough to replace it if it comes down to that. So yeah, it's a big waste of money to have all those streaming services. I really wish it could just be the big three, just like back in my parents' day was just ABC, CBS, and NBC. I really wish it was just Apple, Prime Video, and Netflix. You have those three, it's more affordable to have all three of them. You know what? Maybe throw in Hulu, but it's independently owned. Yeah, those 4 independently owned, that's what I'd like, but unfortunately, we don't live in that timeline. So, yeah, at one point I had Peacock, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu, Max, Netflix. I think that was all of them. Yeah, that was all of them. I went annual where possible, so I spent a little less money in the long run. But looking at the time investment and how little I was able to use each one, relatively speaking, or how I felt like I had to use each one, force myself to spin up something, especially after I quit doing reviews. It was really a waste of money. I should have never gotten into all of these. Now, video games, on the one hand, you could argue I wasted a bunch changing all my physical copies of my 3DS games to digital ones because I still had to pay the difference to get the eShop cards to download the digital copies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I replayed each one at least once. Okay, I didn't actually. Yeah, I squandered money re buying the digital copies of all those, transferring the save data, and then selling the hard copy. I should have just sold the hard copies when the online service went down and went down to just the Nintendo Switch. Now, in regards to the only system I have now, the Nintendo Switch, I would not say I wasted money on any of those games because I can go back and replay them. Like I'm replaying Pokemon Brilliant Diamond now. I'm kind of forcing myself to because I have to download my Pokemon from Pokemon Home and I have to start new save files because I don't want to have be charged for Pokemon Home, which okay, it wasn't a waste of money in the short term because I needed to. No, I could have just has downloaded the Pokemon into my games as I went, and then when I was transferring from bank to home. So yeah, that was more money squandered. Yeah, I really should have just been one console, one ecosystem, the one that I truly want. Yeah, and also say spending at restaurants across the board has generally been a waste of my money because I can make perfectly acceptable versions of those at home or get perfectly acceptable versions of it from the freezer aisle of the supermarket. Right now, I'm actually in the process of making my own pizza dough to make pizzas because I found some yeast from when I did that regularly that's about to expire, so I'm gonna put that to use. But yeah, in terms of spending at restaurants, like when I got that $35 fried dough bites and stuffed crust pizza that I talked about before, big waste of money. $35. That's halfway towards a video game. That's probably like a video game on sale. I could have bought 3 stuffed crust DiGiorno pizzas with that money, and maybe I could have thrown in a store brand ice cream. It's a 1.5 quart container that would have I could have scooped into 3 pints, one for each, one to go after each pizza. Yeah, that is see, that right there is exactly how much more economical that demonstrates right there how much more economical that demonstrates right there how better it is for pizza for grocery store or as compared to restaurants. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, that's stuff I've wasted money on. See, this is one of the reasons I gave up on Pokemon Go. Oh, that reminds me. Microtransactions in Pokemon Go. Okay, my most recent use of it before I deleted the account came from the trade-in credit of my Apple gift card, but that's still like $20 I could have spent on a movie or something for my digital library. Yeah, I'd also say movie tickets for a vast amount of movies that didn't get much benefit from watching it in the theater compared to watching it at home. Like the two I went to see on Christmas Day, Nosferatu and Baby Girl. Yeah, those would have been perfectly acceptable to watch at home. I mean, maybe if I went to see Nosferatu and X Plus when that became available at nighttime, that would have been worth considering. But a movie like Baby Girl, I'm realizing, why would I spend 16.50 to watch this movie when I could spend $20, which is actually cheaper because of the popcorn. You've seen my short, and also would have felt a little less awkward because of the rather explicit scenes with Nicole Kidman. Yeah, that's that alone should have been a good argument for why I should have waited for that one to be watchable at home, which I'm doing with literally everything that doesn't get an IMAX release or something like that. Now, at the theater I go to, they have their X Plus premium format, which is a much larger screen that actually feels worth seeing on the big screen because it actually it, it's actually larger than the size of my TV compared in terms of my field of vision compared to that. So yeah, there's that's something that I squandered money on. So let's see what. Oh yeah, Joker Folia Do. Knowing that it was going to be a pile of crap, I fell for the sunk cost fallacy because I already had the ticket. I don't like going through the refund process, even though now it's just the push of a button. I was like, it can't be that bad. I saw it. Oh, it was that bad. Oh, why did I watch this? So, oh, yeah, that movie actually drove me insane. I actually tried rewatching the courtroom scene with Gary I broke down. I keep breaking down into the same fits of uncomfortable laughter that I broke out into that day in the theater entirely by myself with that because no one else was willing to make themselves suffer through that. Again, I knew I was going into. I knew it was going to be bad. I should have listened to Online Movie Critic. So yeah, I'm this close to just limiting myself to movies that are showing an X plus. So if it's not showing an X plus, I don't think it's going to be worth the effort to go out for it. I'm just going to say it. So yeah, there are a lot of other movies I went to see over the years that weren't showing an X plus that I could have just waited for at home, especially with the streaming services. Yeah, I'd say combining streaming service costs, ticket costs for movies that don't really get much extra benefit from being on the big screen. Video games for consoles I have since sold because I decided to limit myself to just one console, one ecosystem where I can really enjoy each one. And all the takeout, all that money could have gone towards better things. Or who knows, maybe if the sum of all of that I spent magically reappeared in my bank account, I'd be able to move out and live on my own. But I know that's not going to happen, so listen to my tale and remember to be conscious of, to be mindful of your spending. Be intentional, get all the value you can from what you do spend on, and if you know you're not going to use a service for a while, just cancel it. So that's going to do it for the video. Comment down below anything you've wasted money on over the years. Give this video a like, subscribe for daily uploads. I'll see you soon.